Welcome back. The markets are nearly where we left them, just slipped slightly. But it's Friday afternoon and that time of the week when India's best editors take stock of what's been going on in the race for Delhi 2014. Well, there's always high drama around the distribution of seats and selection of candidates in any Indian election. And this week we thought we would be discussing if the sulking old guard of the BJP carried enough weight to dent the prospects or the ambitions of Narendra Modi to getting close to the halfway mark. But just as we were settling on that subject, the Congress, that was out of the headlines for most of the week, came crashing back in. Finance Minister P. Chidambaram will not be contesting. His son Karti will be the Congress candidate from Sivaganga. Poll nervousness seems to have hit Commerce Minister Anand Sharma as well. Reports say he doesn't want to contest from Hamirpur in Himachal, but would rather play martyr in Varanasi against Narendra Modi. No shame in losing to Modi, he thinks. INB Minister Manish Tiwari says, or we hear, he says, he doesn't want to contest. And throw in Satpal Maharaj's desertion to the BJP in Uttarakhand. To that, we have an interesting mix of bad news for the Congress. To discuss who's up and who's down this week, we've got India's finest editors, Radhip Sardesai, Editor-in-Chief of the IBA Network, Sanjay Pugalia, Editor-in-Chief of CNBC Awaaz, and Shireen Ban, Managing Editor of CNBC TV18. Radhip, I think Mr. Chidambaram's decision was expected, but it still comes as news today. So what do you make of it? Are the leaders there throwing in the towel too early?
Look, I think, look at Chidambaram's position in a state like Tamil Nadu. There was absolutely no question of the Congress winning a seat, even a relatively safe seat like Sivaganga, without the AIDMK and DMK support. Fighting on your own in Tamil Nadu is a thankless task. And I think Mr. Chidambaram, who is more intelligent than most, recognized that. I don't know for why he's made poor Karti the scapegoat then, because look, nobody wants to start their...
Could there have been a condition the Congress laid down?
To start their career with a defeat.
Okay.
Could that be a condition that the High Command laid down?
Well, actually, I was told that the High Command was saying either Mr. Chidambaram contests or the Tamil Nadu Congress will decide who should contest from Sivaganga. I think eventually Mr. Chidambaram had his way that since he was not contesting, he preferred his son to contest. It's a start for Karti's political career. Yeah. Mr. Chidambaram also in the 1970s started, if I recall correctly, with a defeat in 1977 and then built his political career. So, defeat sometimes is the stepping stone to success. But yes, clearly Mr. Chidambaram knew the writing on the wall. And, it is a very tough state. It's a thankless task today to contest from a state like Tamil Nadu without the support of any of the Dravida parties. So I don't blame Mr. Chidambaram in a way.
Well, yeah, he did lose an assembly election in 77. Shireen, but you heard this from Chidambaram some time back, right? Almost 6 months ago when he indicated that he was not interested in contesting.
Well, it wasn't as if he very explicitly said that he wasn't interested in contesting, but he did imply that he's had enough of this sort of politics. He wants to do, and if I can quote from that conversation, more adventurous things in life, perhaps write a book, perhaps do other things. But, I had a conversation with Karti Chidambaram this morning, and he was very clear. He said, listen, my father's not retiring. He's not stepping away from public politics or any of that. He has decided not to contest. Now, you've got an interesting situation because two former finance ministers, Yashwant Sinha deciding not to contest from Hazaribagh, his son Jayant Sinha standing in his place, and here's a situation where the current finance minister P. Chidambaram decides not to contest and his son. But as Rajdeep was pointing out, I mean, look at the kind of pressure that Karti Chidambaram goes into this election with. It's a double disadvantage for him. I mean, A, you haven't got your alliances worked out as far as Tamil Nadu is concerned. B, Sivaganga doesn't look like a safe seat any longer as far as the Congress party is concerned. And here's this poor guy making his political debut, and it could perhaps be his big defeat as well. So I don't envy Karti Chidambaram at all at this point in time.
Yeah, they haven't lost Sivaganga. They only lost one since 1980. Sanjay, since we're talking Tamil Nadu, what do you make of the BJP move to tie up with a whole bunch of smaller parties?
I think it is a very risky gamble that BJP has gone in for, because if they would have tied up with DMK, the 2G scam, the Raja issue would have cropped up. So they have chosen to go with all smaller parties. Jayalalitha is supposed to be their post-poll ally. So why would they put up such a grand alliance against Jayalalitha. So I find it a bit risky game, but there could be a very smart strategy that you divide anti-Jayalalitha vote to a stronger alliance, between stronger alliance and DMK, and make sure that Jayalalitha wins comfortably. So I am still trying to figure out what could be the reason. I think Rajdeep can actually decode this much better.
No, I think I agree with Sanjay. Look, I think what has happened is the BJP wants to give the impression that the momentum is clearly with them.
Yeah.
Till 2 months ago, we were asking, look at this NDA alliance. Who do they have? They only have the Akalis and they have the Shiv Sena, and maybe even the RPI was mentioned by some BJP leaders. Now they want to give the impression that we have a broad alliance, particularly south of the Deccan. I'm still waiting to see what they do in Andhra Pradesh. That's the one jigsaw which has still not been fitted into the BJP's grand plan. Do they go with a possible, some kind of a understanding with the TRS or with Chandrababu Naidu, or do they keep all options open in Andhra? But I think the reason why they've gone in for the Tamil Nadu alliance, and indeed the reason why every day at the BJP press conferences you have some small big Congress leader or any other leader joining the party. Your old friend NK Singh, Revenue Secretary, he's also changing like a weathercock. He's moving from the JDU to the BJP, I'm told today or tomorrow.
Yeah.
He's already resigned. So the sense they want to give is the momentum is with them, and that we are no longer untouchable and our alliance is as broad as possible. So I think that's the reason why they've gone even in for smaller parties. Plus, Senthil, they have nothing to lose in Tamil Nadu at the end of the day. They only have to gain in Tamil Nadu. So I think that's the reason why, in a sense, the geographical limitations of the BJP enable them to strike these kind of alliances like the one they've done in Tamil Nadu.
Okay. Rajdeep, Shireen, Sanjay, hi. This is Sonia on this side. Rajdeep, I just wanted to take off from that point you said where, the BJP still thinks that they are untouchable. They may be, but in the recent past, because of all the drama within the BJP camp, there are some who believe that it has perhaps in a slight way dented BJP's chances of reaching that, that magic figure. Do you think after what happened with LK Advani, also there are now talks, that going ahead, even Jaswant Singh has also been sulking quite a bit. Has this in any way dented BJP's prospects?
Not really. My sense is if this is a wave election, a tsunami election, then it doesn't matter whether an octogenarian is sulking one day or Jaswant Singh wants to fight his last battle from Barmer. These are all small issues if it is a wave or tsunami election. If it is not, if it was a normal election, and if it does become a normal election, then the fact that the BJP has in some instances perhaps made the wrong choice of candidates, particularly in UP, particularly in Bihar, could come to haunt them. It could come to haunt them in Maharashtra. I think the one state where the BJP's politics is under a huge question mark is Maharashtra. The Shiv Sena seems to be, in a sense, imploding at the moment. And the fact is that the MNS is putting up strong candidates. So I think all these issues, Advani, Jaswant Singh, dealing with the Shiv Sena, all these could come to haunt the BJP if this was a normal election. But somehow the BJP and Narendra Modi in particular at least are giving the impression, and so to some extent other polls, is that this is not a normal election. This is an election where there is a mini wave. A mini wave, who knows, could turn, if not a tsunami, I don't think tsunami is the right word to use, but certainly suggests a clear momentum shift towards the BJP, in which case LK Advani, Jaswant Singh, don't matter. What actually it shows is these guys are desperate to have one more shot at power. They don't want to be rendered irrelevant. So it's their irrelevance really which is coming to the fore this time.
Sanjay, Radhip raises an interesting question. Is today UP looking more safe for the BJP than Maharashtra? Maharashtra 48 seats.
Asking me?
Yes.
I think UP is safe state for BJP so far. But one very interesting point to be noted is that Mayawati wanted to field Satish Mishra from Varanasi. Finally, it did not happen. So things are turning in favor of BJP. This is a significant pointer I pick up from UP, that Mayawati decided not to field a Brahmin candidate in Varanasi against Modi. This is a kind of indirect help that has been extended to Modi or BJP. Maharashtra, as Rajdeep said, is a very fluid kind of situation because Shiv Sena is weakening there and MNS could be a absolutely kind of X factor. And Bihar should also be watched very closely. So basically I'm trying to flag 4 states. Andhra Pradesh remains fluid. Tamil Nadu, very strange alliance. Maharashtra, very fluid situation because of Shiv Sena weakening. And Bihar, I think Nitish Kumar is doing some kind of new social engineering with backward castes and upper castes, and we have to keep an eye on that. So our macro calculation about Bihar, if one state out of these 4 states goes wrong, our calculation goes wrong there, then by 15-20 seats, situation can change. I am not making any final comment. All I am saying, these 4 states are still puzzling us.
Okay, since you said the word Varanasi, I want to throw this question to both Rajdeep and Shireen. Rajdeep, the 4th list is out. There's no decision yet on, who Congress's Varanasi candidate will be. But now there's so much talk about Digvijay Singh, etc. In your mind, who could be the formidable candidate that Congress could put out in Varanasi?
You know, the very fact that there were news reports that the Congress actually wanted to field Sachin Tendulkar from Varanasi, I think that reveals the state in which the Congress is. Look, for someone like Digvijay Singh, it's not like Jaswant Singh and Advani. Yeah. You know, they are being pushed into irrelevance. At least if I contest Varanasi, there will be some television cameras on me. You know, let's be clear. Winning Varanasi is going to be very difficult at the moment against Narendra Modi. And I think it's a very shrewd move that the BJP has played. Just as I think they've messed up a bit in Maharashtra, I think they've done UP very well, because it gives them the benefit not just in eastern UP, but also about 10 constituencies that border UP on the Bihar side. So I think having Modi there will give a momentum to their rank and file in UP. Who does the Congress field? I guess it's someone who has nothing to lose. So, you know, Digvijay has nothing to lose. He could contest from there. I think Sanjay made an interesting point that if Satish Mishra had contested and Mayawati had shown that she's ready to take the battle to the BJP camp, that would have made it a little bit more interesting. At the moment, frankly, the only person who can take on Modi is Mukhtar Ansari, who's in jail. I mean, you know, the very fact
You're
that...
totally discounting Arvind Kejriwal, is it?
Yeah, well, let's be clear. I think it's the same thing, Shireen, with Arvind Kejriwal as it is with Digvijay Singh. It enables them to punch above their weight at the moment. Yeah. It gives them moment. I'm not sure that any of these people have a chance in Varanasi. I think Modi has played it very well as far as Varanasi goes. I think Sanjay is right. Bihar is looking in the last few days that Nitish Kumar, all said and done, is fighting this election. And I've always believed Mulayam, Mayawati, Nitish, these are battlers. Even Lalu, they will fight till the very end.
I also want to, just since we are discussing Bihar, and before we were getting into the studio, I was watching shots of Shatrughan Sinha and black flags being waved at him and so on and so forth. And we come back to the candidate selection, the issue that we were talking about. There was a lot of talk that Ravi Shankar Prasad may in fact contest from that very constituency. There has been internal dissent with whether it's Kiran Kher, whether it's Shatrughan Sinha, whether it's even Jayant Sinha and Hazaribagh. There's been trouble even as far as Madhya Pradesh is concerned, and the BJP in a sense is also rewarding defectors, and that doesn't seem to be going down well with the party. But do you believe there's anything there at all?
I think there is a point in that. If a Jagdambika Pal gets a ticket within 6 hours of joining the BJP, and Harin Pathak, a 6-time MP, or I think 7-time MP from Ahmedabad East, is still waiting to be declared the candidate from Ahmedabad East, there are problems there. Somewhere someone is not... either it's Modi himself or it's people around Modi who are not giving him the right kind of advice.
So my sense is the way tickets are distributed has completely changed in BJP. It is Modi, Amit Shah, Rajnath Singh. The list is scanned by RSS first, then is brought to the BJP's Central Parliamentary Board. What has actually happened, I guess, that they have gone for winnability in a serious manner. They have made some adjustments, like you pointed out, Jagdambika Pal getting immediately and Harinder Pathak is still being kind of in limbo. So I guess 15-20 seats, if they get wrong, it could be a serious challenge for BJP. And these 15-20 seats where you have gone for some extra considerations that I have to get rid of this group or the representative of this group, or I have to accommodate this newcomer, be it VK Singh, be it not Kiran Kher, be it Jagdambika Pal, then there could be a trouble with 15-20 seats with BJP.
This glamour factor, the Hema Malini from
they're overplaying it.
You've got Kiran Kher from Chandigarh. I'm not sure that's a wise move. If this is a wave election, if this is a tsunami election, then why are you going for these glamour candidates?
I agree.
You should have gone, and I don't think it's the RSS which is behind this. There is a section within the BJP which is doing this, because the RSS, I think, would have gone ahead and rewarded some of its traditional candidates, as Satyapal Jain, for example, in Chandigarh. And I think it could, in a tight race, cost, if it's a tight race. You see, now it's become, if it's a wave election, this discussion makes no
Irrelevant,
sense.
yeah.
But if it is a tight race, then giving these
But there are
defectors-
some constituencies
Yes,
where
there
you have
are.
tight race. Yeah.
Just one point, and I want both of you to comment on that. You know, while we can say that it's the end of the old guard, so to speak, and LK Advani and Jaswant Singh are clutching at straws and they're, you know, fading into oblivion and so on and so forth. But what does this say in terms of Modi's attempt at managing affairs and managing the party? Surely one phone call to LK Advani that you're not going to be in the first list or whatever it is. I'm saying, is this a reflection of Modi's management?
Shireen, I think the best example, not just Jaswant or Advani, is Harin Pathak. He has been a loyal BJP soldier for 30, 40 years. As he was telling me one day, when nobody was in the BJP in Gujarat, main hua karta tha BJP mein. He predates, in a sense, even Narendra Modi in Gujarat.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
won election since 89. You've kept him waiting. Why? Because there is one view within the BJP that he's not exactly what I would call a Modi cheerleader. Now, this cannot be the basis of deciding tickets, and that is where the old, the old sense comes that Narendra Modi doesn't forgive or forget,
Yeah.
that he's still vindictive. I've seen evidence against that also, that he's been willing to accommodate people much more than in the past. But when I see a Harin Pathak, or as you rightly say, when I see that he doesn't want to go too far in reaching out to a Jaswant Singh or an Advani, it doesn't give the impression of a happy, united parivar.
Yeah.
We've seen Sushma Swaraj's, consideration being disregarded. I can understand that because winnability is there. Sriramalu will probably win that seat. But some of the other elements, if this is a wave election, give Jaswant his Barmer seat. Why get into the faction fighting? The BJP's problem is this. It's a typical, in that sense, Hindu divided parivar. And I think Modi needs to understand. He doesn't need to be a faction leader. In the past, he's fought Sanjay Joshi. If you remember, he did not campaign in UP 2 years ago because he was angry with Gadkari appointing Joshi in charge.
Yeah.
Why does he need to battle Sanjay Joshi? He's the prime ministerial candidate. Why does he need to fight Harin Pathak? He's the prime ministerial candidate. So I think somewhere Modi has to recognize now that he's much more than just a faction leader. And the moment he does that, I think it's to his advantage. But he's got to realize that fast. So you're right. The message would have been nicer if he could have reached out to the older guard, even while knowing that he's the boss.
Boss, exactly.
Anuj, someone else in Delhi waiting to come in. Anuj?
Rajdeep, hi, this is Anuj. I just have a question on a lighter note, since this is a Friday. This talk about martyrdom in terms of who will contest from Varanasi, whether it's Digvijay Singh, we've heard even Anand Sharma's name. One theory is that, that's a route to Rajya Sabha maybe later on. Do you think that line will get longer now, that queue will get longer in terms of who wants to contest from Varanasi now from the Congress?
I don't know. Anand Sharma is already angry with us that we have said that, he has opted out of contesting from Himachal, which was a flash that we put out. Look, the fact is, and Anuj, this is interesting. There are about 30 seats in Bengal where the Congress is not finding a candidate. I was told a small-time actor from Mumbai was rung up a week ago because he's a Bengali, was told, will you contest?
Who is the small-time actor?
I'm not going to name him. But the fact is that that's what the Congress is doing. They're clutching. If it is true that Sachin Tendulkar is rung up for Varanasi, it just shows. You see, the Congress, is desperately looking to create some kind of momentum in its favor, some kind of impression that all is not lost. But it's tough, Take what's happened today in Uttarakhand, Satpal Maharaj.
Yeah.
Now, this is again a powerful regional leader. His leaving could well mean the end of the Uttarakhand government also. So, interestingly, there is this move toward, and if I may use a caste analogy, Rajnath Singh is targeting Thakurs across parties. A lot of Thakurs are moving towards the BJP, particularly in Uttar Pradesh at the local level. So you're seeing changes taking place. Politicians know which way the wind is blowing. And my sense is the wind is blowing in a direction where no one wants to go and fight Modi at the moment from Varanasi, except Kejriwal. And you got to give him credit for that in a strange sort of way.
All right, unless they want to go down to Martyrs, the wind is clearly blowing the way that NK Singh and Satpal Maharaj have seen. Rajdeep, thank you so much. Shireen, thank you so much. Sanjay, thank you so much. And we could go on with this all afternoon, but we've got to now get back to the markets. Our closing bell money control question of the day was politics again. By letting his son contest the Sivaganga seat, is Chidambaram looking at the Rajya Sabha route to Parliament? Do you agree with that? Log on moneycontrol.com. Post your responses there. We read out the most interesting responses post 3:30. But right now, time for a break. We'll be back with the markets after this. Stay right there.